Okay, dearies. So I'm here to talk about the fact how people want to talk about Black Lives. Yeah, Black Lives Matter, but if we were to specify Black Lives, do you know how much more other kinds of people would be tortured in the end of it all? And that's because we'll focus on one side, meaning all of us that aren't that will be getting aimed at more. So yeah, I could go and say, hey, let's specifically go for Black Lives Matter. Yeah, it would be great. It would be good to do so, but in the end result, it doesn't fix any others that are going through the same type of situations. Yeah, you want to pretend like they're not happening, but they are. I went through it. And at the end of the day, we all get hurt. We all get through millions of things, and sometimes it's not even recorded. And we go through things we wish we didn't. My great-grandmother, and you would not believe it, and it's only because we're all focused on the fact that Black Lives Matter, we're not realizing that it's not just one side doing it to one another, it's all of us. There was a dark one that decided to rape my grandmother. Now, I'm not upset with the whole ability of them, because I had friends that were that way, and in the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And this is why it's bad in the community. Because as soon as one person does something, we end up blaming the whole race. What's the good of that when it doesn't fix the problem, and it's nonsense and stupid to do? Which I should have said to boot. And you can't worry about one side. You can't be upset with one side. You can't go through that, because that ain't gonna help. What's gonna help is we're fixing problems in our government. See, we're taking things needing to go out. We're putting laws that are better and more secure for helping everyone in. We're not trying to upgrade our technology, because that ain't gonna help none. Yeah, there's some technology that are good, but not every technology is good for us. Let's look at the TV scenario. Is it great to watch now and again? Yes. But do we need to go all the way up? Because what are we having? Having to buy new. Yeah, how is that great? That doesn't help us. That doesn't help us survive. Okay, what about another thing? If we remember, there was another technology that didn't help much. Let's see, what was it? The car. Because do we have ability to, do what we need to, move, do things that are supposed to make us active? We're losing our active. And it's because we're putting things in our path to take away our activities. The things that wasn't make us move. The more we move, the more our bodies are happy. The more our mental status will get better. But the more we stay home, the more we don't get anywhere in life. There's a reason why horses existed, and it was there so we had a way to get around, as well as have a companion forever. Just like dogs are a companion, so are horses. Horses are a vehicle. Horses are a way around. If we give them up, guess what happens? We get lazy, because we're letting machines do it for us. Don't get me wrong. The whole air conditioner and stuff is great. You could do that in a wagon. That falls behind a horse. But to completely give up a horse for what? Engine you gotta replace? Anyways, in the future? Gas that costs over our heads when we can grow crops and feed our horses and put away a little money for sickness and health for both of us and the horse? Yeah, that makes more sense. Why do we need all this tech? It's not all worth it. Some are great, others are not. And then getting back to the main point here. Yeah, there has been slavery through Black Lives Matter. There's been slavery through Irish Matters. My memory's not that great. It takes me a minute. Irish Matter. And my bloodline has it. I may not be the ones that were there back way when, but the point is, my soul is old as can be, and I have been around. I may not remember it, because when you're reincarnated, you don't remember anything, and maybe you'll remember a couple things, which ain't a lot, doesn't give you much, not worth talking about. But the point is, we are reincarnations of those that came before. And in the end of the day, just because these things have happened, doesn't mean we need to carry on with the past. We could carry on all day long, but you know what that's going to do? Keep it coming. Keep the same issues that happened way when to come here and now. We don't need that. We need new issues, new problems fixed, not old problems to stick with. I'm not mad at the people that destroyed my family. I'm not mad at them, because you want to know why? Because I'm not going to let them torture my family my whole entire life. It's pointless. And it gives them leverage. Why would you want to do that? Not sensible. Reprogram. Take away the past and leave it there. It's a better way about it. Better way to live. Trust me. It's not worth hanging on to something that ain't gonna heal you, ain't gonna make you happy, ain't gonna bring some joy in your life. Get rid of the hate. Bring in the peace. And 2, we don't need to worry about one. We have all went through things. We have all went through it. Yeah, I could talk about history day in, day out, but you know how corrupted history is, right? Teachers aren't teaching the whole truth. I basically only get the ability to know the truth through life of living and growing and understanding that there's things that are just completely out of our heads. Like the fact that religious people, they destroyed billions of people. Not these ones, but the ones in the past. From the ancient Egypt time. I can't say exactly how it came down, but I can tell you one thing. Billions of different people were destroyed. Because they were different. They weren't, based of their book. So in the end, they got destroyed. Well, dearly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened then. It matters that we don't stick with things that are going to bring pain. Get rid of the book. Clearly the book is all evil. I mean, no matter what book you got, it's evil. Because clearly, when it comes down to the fact that it's telling us to hate one another for what we are, what is the point of listening to a book that's supposed to make us fight one another? What's so great about that book? You know what I mean? Stop hating. Stop being friends. And get rid of that darn book. It did no bit of good for those of us in the past. Ain't gonna do it no good now. We got hearts. We know how to listen to them. Stop listening. We have families. We have people we love. Do we really need a book to give us all those things? No. We got it. We don't need a book. 2. A lot of people have died. A lot of people have suffered. But is it really worth bringing up the past? Is it really worth going through all that again? We don't need to think about Black Lives Matter. We don't need to think about all that other stuff because it's nonsense. It's one-sided. Everyone's going through things. So it's not just Black Lives Matter. It's not just Indian matter. It's not just Irish matters. It's not any of that. It's we all matter. All of us. We're not just one blood anymore. We're a lot. We're not just one side of the family. We're all sides of the family. Go to Ancestry, or, go to somewhere that has DNA stability. Look at your DNA. Take the knowledge that you can get, because I can tell you right now, it's not one blood, it's more. My soul, technically, would never do technology. But I have to include it, because it's a new century, and I have to work with some bit of the new. Even though I hate technology for the end of the earth. But somehow I'm enjoying watching television. Tell me how that is? I have no clue. But what I do know is I'm going to forget it. I'm going to eventually grow out of it and be non-technical completely when I'm allowed to. See, the reason why I'm not allowed is because the U.S. is trying to take control and keep us on these things, which are pointless, which I would like to get off. But until I can find a way out of that and find a loophole, I'm stuck. But I'm also trying to teach people to stop holding on to grudges. It's pointless. We can hold the grudges all day long, but it ain't gonna change nothing. So, like I was saying, Black lives may matter, but we all matter in the end. It's not just black, it's not just white, it's not just Chinese, Japanese, whatever. It's everyone matters. Everyone matters. We went through a war, we went through a disaster, we went through chaos, murder, sacrifice, all these other random things. We went through religious haters that went and destroyed the magical community by separating for who knows what ridiculous reason. My dear, magic ain't the bad guy here. It's what creates the universe. I don't care a single bit about all these other people saying there's more to it. It's not that much. It's just the fact that you use your mind, you can make anything appear. That's as simple as that. It's got no background, no instant. The only thing it has is history. And that's where the whole point of why religious people just let it cancel out from it. It's like, really, do you have any idea that magic is really just a tool that everyone has inside themselves? It's like a hammer. You put it down, you can put it down, or you can slam someone's head in. It's like a choice deal. Choose the dark, choose the light, choose whatever you wish. But in the end of the day, it's a choice. It doesn't make the magic evil. It's what you decide to do with it. So, as for that past, it's not worth bringing up or even going into, but I did. And there's a reason for that. Because we need to remember these things, but we don't need to bring it up every day. It's one thing to bring it up once every year, or a little bit once in a while, to remember why we choose the path we're choosing, because it's our past that makes us who we are today. As my mother's best blessed last night to someone she was trying to date. But anywho, we remember these things, but we don't have to bring them up on technology, because it ain't worth doing. The only reason why I'm doing it is because it's getting really bad out there, bringing up all these one things when we need to stop doing that. So realize we all matter. We all matter. Not one kind. We all matter. All of us. Every single living thing on this earth. We all matter. You know how we take care of that? We fix our laws. We make sure we don't riddle. Because how are we supposed to have a planet to live on if we're destroying it? How are we supposed to be able to, make life easier if our laws are corrupted? And if we have bad people in the government, how do we, as all of us, get through the situations if we don't fix it? Stop thinking of one. Start thinking of all. It's not one, it's everyone. Take that evil little nonsense out of your head about being self-centered and thinking of one. Start thinking of everyone. Because that's what matters. Not one, all. We all came from the same place. The light of the universe. You know what that was? A burst of energy. That burst of energy was us. The little atoms that came to be something else. We are those little atoms, and we all were one at a time. So start thinking of all of us. Stop thinking of one of us. It's pointless to think of one atom when we all were a whole atom at a certain time. Stop thinking of one, start thinking of all. Stop thinking of one, start thinking of all. A-L-L. All. Every single living thing upon this earth. All of us. Everyone that is standing on this earth right now. Everyone. Every single soul. Stop thinking of one, start thinking of all. Stop thinking of one, start thinking of all of us. And yeah, a lot of countries are not the greatest right now. But you know what we could do to fix that? Help fix laws. Help fix their way to a better method. Don't push it. Don't tell them to. Guide them to. You guide it, you make difference. You force it, you're being pointless. Because that's not going to help. Forcing someone to do something never does. Help, guide, don't push. Now, for the president we got, yeah, he's shitty and really bad to have in the office, yeah. Because he's, what we call not all there. 2, he doesn't know how to think for everyone. He thinks only for what? Maybe his one side. You want to know why that is? He's part of the old book. The old religious book. They think of themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. There's many books that don't have that, but I don't really care for it. To be honest, that book has done a lot of damage. And it's really hurt my whole entire generation of families. Because, and the fact that it's hurt other people, it just gets to my heart. I don't like people getting hurt. Especially don't like things that are evil that will do it. It's just not me. So knowing that it did that, it was really wrong for that to happen. So I think of the days, and I try to let go. I do. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy to let go. It never is. I am trying to let go. But what doesn't help is how religious people start to put up those things. And start to just push and push and push and push. And then try to come into my store and tell me that I'm doomed for their own self, Yeah, how about you take your things, you do what you want, and I'll do what I want. If I want to, do what I feel, then I'll do what I feel. But don't bring your thing into my place. That's rude. And when you're in a store, you can't say no because you can't disaffect the whole thing. So we had to shut our mouths and deal. And my heart was racing of anger. I can tell you that right now. It wanted to do something, but I couldn't do a thing. Because one, it would not be worth doing. It would not be something that would be good. And I wasn't going to do bad. I don't do bad. No matter how angry I get, I stay far away from that. But the thing is, it was horrible to have to listen to someone talk shit, pardon the language, talk bad about how we lived because we were magical or we were, some way. To have to listen to that and having to deal with that was just horrible. Don't push your stuff on other people. It's not worth doing. What I'm doing is telling you, don't be following the same paths that bring darkness. And I'm not forcing that on you. I'm simply giving you the facts so you can decide if you want to change it, if you want to get rid of it. Because, thinking of the past and all the things that have caused, do you really think it's going to do any good? Because I can tell you it's not when all that past is ingling in it. Will it do good if it was something wholly different? Yes. But when you're looking at something that has a bad history on it, and you're trying to push that on people and you're trying to bring that back, do you really think that's even going to work? Because I can tell you right now, it's only making people angrier and angrier because they're getting pushed into something they hate because they know how evil it is. Because of their experiences, their family history on it, it gives them nothing but uncomfortableness. My family, yeah, some of them are religious because they're foolish. The children, not listening to the facts in life, not listening to the point that how much darkness came from that, and how it destroyed a lot of people's lives, and how our ancestors were destroyed from it. So when I think of that stuff, and I look at my family, do you know what I do? I shut my trap. It may suck, it may hurt, but in the end of the day, I hurt watching them do something that I want to say whatever I can to stop them from doing it. But there's nothing I can do about it. Because it's their choice, their decision to do something dark, and there's nothing I can do. I can give them advice, I can do as best as I can on giving that. But it doesn't mean they're going to listen. It doesn't mean they're going to go through with it, and they never do. I give them the advice. I may have fixed my grandma a little by giving her what I could to tell her about it. And I literally had to do that because she didn't know. None of them knew what they had in their family tree, or even that the fact that there was darkness in there. I had to find that darkness and shine it brightly to my family. And it was hard to get them to even realize that was there. It doesn't mean they're stopping, because they're not, because they got this thing where they were taught and where they were forced to do, where it makes them feel like they need to hold on to it, even though they know the truth. This is why we don't teach it to our children, because it's an addiction that you can't escape. She may never go to a church again, but in the end of the day, she can't let go. Because she doesn't know anything else. She doesn't know how to live anywhere else. And I'm not going to force her into it. I'm going to guide her the best I can to help her. But in the end of the day, as long as she's not using the full extent of the darkness, I can see that she's going to find the light someday. And that's worth waiting for and hoping that she will achieve. Because that darkness was so evil and destroyed so many lives. I can't believe it's still going around. I mean, it has to eventually come out and see that it's doing no good. It's doing no better. I mean, if we're fighting between one another and telling one another that we want to be this or we don't want to be that, and you can't be a part of this group because you're this or that, it's not worth doing. I'm a Wicca, and there's a reason for it, because I love the factor that the universe is filled with magic, and how everything is made out of it. So I want to learn how to use it so I can bring that magic and make it glow. Make it just force and beauty and gorgeousness. I want to see flowers bloom in a beautiful way that has never been seen before. So I want to use magic to do that. I want to use magic to fix the world as best as I can. But the thing is, magic ain't easy to accomplish. I've been trying for years. It takes a long time to master. It's not easy. I mean, unless you got a level, it's pretty much a torture. Because it takes forever to learn. But when you got love, that simple lesson you needed to learn when you were young will finally be learned. But when you can't find no one to love and the world's going chaotic and you don't feel like dating because, you don't know what's going to happen, well, in the end of the day, you use that spark you need to really cast spells. And it's really not spells. As I said, it was energy. You think of something and it appears. Until you can master glowing your energy to that mass, it's going to be a while. But anywho, like I said, yeah, I'm not trying to be that way, but like I said, I'm glowing in it. I'm doing the best I can. I have history that just ends up bringing back the past. And in the end of the day, I can remember what it did. And how dark it was, and how much people were suffering and going through things, and that just makes it hard to want to be a part of something that's dark. That's why I try to help people and do the best I can on telling them this so they can decide what they want to do. I don't have an answer for what you should do. All I have is this. Realize why you're doing it, and also realize that history is dark, and all these words you're putting into that book, all these new things you want to add or change, it doesn't change the dark history daily. It ain't gonna change people's perspectives when they had family that have went through chaos because of it. So, yeah, you could look at that book, you could bring that book back, but in the end of the day, it doesn't change the dark history. It doesn't change people's tortures and torments. And as I stated, we need to forget the past. There's a reason why we need to remember. And not to remember every single day, because it's not worth holding on to all that. But we also need to let go of the anger towards it. And that's what I'm working towards. Letting go of the anger. Because the anger is not going to help. But I do know that I can't forget the past. Because the past is what makes us who we are today. So remember the past. Remember the good old days. Try to remember something good. And always remember a hair bit of the bad stuff. So that way when you look back and you remember the things that are most important to remember, it helps guide you away from the dark. The better you stay away from the dark and certain things that add darkness, the more better off you'll be. And remember, magic's a tool. It's how you use it. It's got nothing else to it, just how you use it. And we all came from the single burst of energy, and that means we all are energy. We all came from it. We all have it. So in the end of the day, that's where magic comes from. So daily, it's at everyone that lives. So just remember, there's no need to hate it, because it's not worth putting hatred towards something that has no reason to hate. And learn, study, do the best you can on your own, because schools aren't going to teach. They're going to give you a little. They're not going to give you everything. And if they do give you a little, it may not be all correct. So don't listen to the schools as your main method. Get some books, get some other stuff. It doesn't hurt to listen to what the schools have to say, but make sure you also get books. You also buy the oldest books you can possibly buy, and you bring them home and read them. The more you read of old books, the better you'll get knowledge. Knowledge from the past out of old paper books may seem like a pointless method because y'all want technology, but ain't gonna help you none. Give up those things. Go for your books, because those are gonna be more helpful. You don't have to completely give up technology just towards the books, because you're gonna need actual books. Technology can hide the truth. It can corrupt the truth. It's a lot of ways to make things not the truth. So, as I said, go get some books. They're hard copies. They're something that you're not going to be screwed on. And they are truthful to themselves as long as you get the old. Don't get the new. The new ain't going to fit. The new ain't going to have what you need. Is it going to have a lot of things that are good now? Yes. But is it going to have anything good based on past history? No. Go for the old. The old is going to be a better option. And do what a lot of people do. Do Sherlock Holmes. He studies things. He looks at little hidden things. Look at Sherlock Holmes. And then go back to this. And then do it again. Until you figure out what I'm saying. And then do the same to the books. Keep doing it until you find hidden truths and hidden knowledge. Every knowledge you need, everything you need out of my words are going to be there. I'm not saying everyone's going to like what I have to say. And I'm not saying anyone's going to get all the things they need out of it. But what I am saying is you'll get what you got to have to get through the next day. So take what you can from it. You don't need to do anything. Just take what you can. Because I don't plan on coming back. And if I do come back, it's because I got another feeling to point out. But like I said, take what you can from what I got to say, and then find what is going to help you and help the community, and go from there. There's billions of other words on these things. Listen to them all. Find all the answers. Find all the secrets. Find all the things you need. Listen to them all. Then take the books, like I said, and look back and study up on what everyone says. Because not one person has the answer. And I could tell you things that I think are the answers. But in the end of the day, there's millions of answers out there. Look for them. Then look back at the books. Look back at what we all say. And then match it up to back history. Which means backing it up into the history books. The old history books. And I mean, keep going back in time in those books until you get to the right year that ends the years. The more you get to there, the more you get the truth. And as you compare them to everything else, the more truth you'll find. Be Sherlock Holmes. Find the answers. Find the truths. As this is a video of truth, or at least for the most that I can see is the truth, I say out and say, go Sherlock Holmes.